Avatar, the 3D re-release in anticipation of Avatar: The Way of Water. It came out this weekend, and for me, this was my first time watching the film Avatar. I know for a lot of people that's really shocking that I've never seen Avatar. As big as a fan of movies as I am, as many films that I've seen, the fact that I've never sat down and watched Avatar from beginning to end, and I have some thoughts about my experience watching Avatar for the first time, as well as the discourse around the film Avatar. My name is Ben Friedman, here from the Beniverse. Thank you for watching, and thank you for checking out my review of Avatar, the 3D re-release. Avatar. I don't really have to explain the plot of this movie. It's a very famous movie. It made $3 billion. Everyone knows what the film is about. But regardless, for those who maybe need a refresher, Avatar follows a Marine dispatched to the moon Pandora on a unique mission and becomes torn between following his orders and protecting the world he feels is his true home. This film stars Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, and features supporting performances from Stephen Lang, Michelle Rodriguez, and Sigourney Weaver. This is, of course, a film directed by James Cameron. It's his follow-up to Titanic over 10 years later. This film comes out originally in 2009 and becomes a cultural sensation. This film grosses nearly $3 billion. By the time the sequel comes out, this film has probably already grossed $3 billion, either from its new run or from its adjusted inflation. This is, like I said, one of the biggest films of all time, directed by one of our most legendary filmmakers who pushes boundaries every time he makes a movie. Every time he makes it, it's like, is this going to be a disaster? And he changes the way movies are made, both visually and the technology used to capture those visuals. And Avatar is the complete same. He doesn't miss. That's what James Cameron does. He makes films that shouldn't work, but the visuals are so outstanding, and that's what I found so impressive about Avatar. I got to see this film on the biggest screen with Adobe Sound with 3D glasses, and let me tell you, this film absolutely looks stunning. The fact that this film is, 13 years old, it doesn't look it. It doesn't look aged at all. This film is so visually immersive. It is such a great use of 3D to just bring you into this world and just capture you and just have your mind be blown by the visuals. And what's so impressive about this, and it's the genius of Cameron, he understands that making a photorealistic world where these creatures look like Sam Worthington, like Zoe Saldana, if these aliens looked like that, this would age poorly. They have features of those actors, but they don't look exactly like those actors. They have a kind of more brighter, cartoony feel to it. Thus, it brings you into the immersion because you're just accepting that, okay, this is an alien world. And thus, the visuals will just look outstanding. The color palette in this film is absolutely gorgeous. There's so many scenes where you just get these beautiful purple with blue at night, and there's just this beautiful glow to everything. It took my breath away watching this film. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I've seen so many films, and yet I've never seen a film that engaged me so much and just kept me entertained by seeing something and being like, wow, that is beautiful. It's a work of art. That's what James Cameron does with Avatar. I'm sitting there watching it. I'm like, this is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And it's just so stunning in its presentation. James Cameron, as a director, knows what he is doing. He knows that this film doesn't have to be this great philosophical, provocative film. He knows that the visuals and the general story will help. The fact that the story is so basic, the fact that it has so many echoes, it's a hero's journey, learning to love and learning to fall in love and protecting the people he loves. It's such a, like I said, it's the classic hero's journey. And in that way, it just makes the story completely relatable. What else can I really say about Avatar? I'll have a podcast about it when the movie comes out with Branson, and we'll discuss it more at length. but I just have to say this film's really good. There isn't really a weak aspect of this film. I even think the guy who gets clowned on the most, Sam Worthington, is fine in the role. He plays the straight man perfectly, allowing Zoe Saldana to just absolutely shine in this film. She is great. She should have gotten a Best Supporting Actress nomination. Everyone in this film is good. Stephen Lang is a very convincing villain. Sigourney Weaver is a very convincing scientist. Michelle Rodriguez, who is an actor who I don't think has a ton of range, I quite like in this film, and she's quite charming. This film is just like I said, it's a bunch of things all coming together and all just capturing something that is beautiful. It does work the best on the big screen. I'm curious to see if I watch this, for instance, on my iPad or even my TV at home, if I'd have this just beautiful, just mind-melting experience watching it. But seeing it in theaters, seeing it the way James Cameron intended it to do, I had a great time watching this. The one thing that always is funny when I'm listening or when I'm hearing or when I see social media talking about Avatar, and I'm specifically talking about like the bubble, the social media bubble, whether that's film Twitter, whether that's film talk, whatever, they always talk about Avatar like it's a film that nobody cares about, nobody thinks about, and then it goes on to gross 30 million worldwide upon its re-release opening weekends. Like, there's a cultural impact. There were scenes where it was happening, they were cheering. It's insane that people dismiss the amount of impact Avatar had just because it's not maybe their favorite film. Maybe it's because it's not a film that they deem worthy of grossing $3 billion to be called the biggest film of all time. It is so ignorant to see this, to see the success of Avatar and be like, this film has no cultural impact. Look at Disney World with Pandora. Look how much people have been sharing, anticipating Avatar 2. Look how much this film earned this weekend. There is a clear group of audience for this film. People are going to watch the film for the visuals alone, and to dismiss it outright is just dumb. This film has a cultural impact. It is important to how films are made. Look at every film that post-Avatar tries to be 3D. Look how many of them use CGI to disastrous effects. Avatar is not the first film to do this type of visuals, to do this type of filmmaking, but you could very much say this is the apex of it. This is the best that it might ever look for this time period. And yeah, James Cameron deserves all the praise, and I can't believe I'm saying this as a guy who, I will say, when I was a kid, I did have Avatar on DVD. I tried watching it on one of those portable DVD players, and I got bored within 30 minutes. I never wanted to revisit this film. I didn't care about it. I went with my friend yesterday. I was curious. I really wanted to see this film with the new one coming out, and me thinking that the trailer of the new one looked good. And yeah, I had a blast watching this movie. I can highly recommend it, and see it on the biggest screen. I'm talking about a film that I know everyone else has seen on the biggest screen already. But regardless, Avatar, 3.5 out of 4 stars. Thank you for watching my review of Avatar. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. My name is Ben Friedman here from the Beniverse. Take care. Bye-bye.